The original bro, the king of bros, Matt Riddle here. You know what I like to do? I like to go in raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it if you're watching us on the YouTube. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, leave us a rating, a review, or a comment. It goes a long way towards helping Going In Raw grow. We're also available. We shoot these things live on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Throw us a follow there. And if you throw us a sub, we'll throw you some bonus content. Friendo Club TV is where it's at, man. And you can get bonus content. You can get those episodes of Friendo Club TV by giving us a Twitch sub, by throwing us some love as a YouTube channel member, or on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Speaking of which, we do have a couple new patrons. Derek Paris France, Mr. Grimes, Joe, Mr. Lipkin Prime is back. Gregory Faella is back. I don't know if I mentioned Atomic Sunday. What a great name.
That is a good name.
And then Kelsey Seymour. Thank you so much for all your support.
You all. Thank you.
Today, of course, is Pin Loser Draw on Friendo Club TV. Who will unseat Alex C., the very first
two-time champion, Alex C.
Two-time. By the way, if anybody has, so we started including Twitch subs to the cast of people eligible to watch Friendo Club TV. If you haven't been getting notifications, but if you've thrown us a Twitch sub over the past like 30 days or whatever it is, please feel free to hit me up on the Twitter at MFSteve here. Let me know, and I might have a tip or two for you. For one thing, check your Twitch settings for email notifications to make sure those are turned on. And then sometimes the emails go to your spam box, and so check that as well. Usually it's one of those two things. Yeah. So anyways, is there anything else that I didn't mention?
I think that about sums it up.
All right, man. Let's dive into this NXT episode.
Sure.
We're about 2 weeks away from, a little bit less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, a week from Sunday.
From In Your House. It feels like next week's episode of NXT. There's like two like extended recap segments. It was like, what is it? Prime Target.
Yeah.
And so I think next week's NXT episode is going to be a little on the light side. That being said, this week's episode, I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, I know I might be one for hyperbole, but this might be my favorite episode of wrestling in the empty arena era that I've seen. I thought that it was all over the place. It felt like there was nothing but energy going on. I had a mini heart attack when Shotzi Blackheart almost killed herself.
Oh yeah, that coffin drop type thing.
Yeah. And then that cage match I thought was really, really just terrific.
Yeah, that
stuff.
was tons of fun.
I thought it was really good.
And considering how it played out, seemingly made tons of sense if that is Matt Riddle's NXT Swan Song.
Yeah, I was thinking of so I mean, look, man, it's out there. I was thinking of changing the name and thumbnail for that episode of News Brief we did 2 days ago, to just put Matt Riddle on the thing and saying Matt Riddle might be headed to SmackDown. Is that, or should I just wait a couple days?
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Because like in 2 days, I don't know, people might want to be, or tomorrow night, people might want to be surprised by Matt Riddle showing up on SmackDown. If that happens. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't happen.
We don't know.
Maybe it's not going to happen. What if they give him the EC3 treatment over there?
Ugh.
Wouldn't that be the saddest thing?
That would be awful.
That'd be horrible. But, oh, my, yeah, what a send-off. Timothy Thatcher putting Matt Riddle to sleep there in the cage after having, like 3 of his teeth knocked out.
Kicked out, yeah.
Kicked out. Blood everywhere. Man, they were not shy about the fake blood.
No.
I thought that was really cool. Matt Riddle coming off, doing that corkscrew off the
the floating bro. That was great.
That was rad. Yeah. Timothy Thatcher looked like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this, man. It was, I mean, they had a very specific name for this structure. They called it the Fight Pit.
Fight Pit.
Yeah. And I hope they bring it back. I think it was really cool.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a very specific stipulation, I think, for very specific competitors.
For sure, yeah.
This isn't something you could do just for your rank and file NXT talents. This needs to be, Matt Riddle, former UFC fighter, Timothy Thatcher, trained by Josh Barnett, noted catch wrestling specialist. It's perfect competitors to participate in the first match. You can't just have any two NXT stars tossed in the fight pit, I feel like. They got to have the legit fight background.
They need the credentials. They have to have the ingredients to get into the fight pit.
The bona fides.
The bona fides, exactly. There's a suitor. Anyways, so yeah. No, I thought a lot of it was good. We had some developments as well. We had a really good tag match with Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley taking on Charlotte and mystery partner who ended up being Chelsea Green. And I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought it made Chelsea Green look like one of the top dogs there in the women's division. I thought that was really cool. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on, so we can just, this is the AEW review. Why do I have that up? We can just hop right into it, I guess.
Sure. The things kicked off with the A block final for this Cruiserweight Championship tourney. Drake Maverick versus Kushida versus Jake Atlas. This match was a ton of fun. They were doing all sorts of great, crazy stuff. The double pin attempt that Kushida did especially. Wow.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was really the first opportunity Jake Atlas had to show the full breadth of his abilities. We've seen little bits of specifically like his high flying stuff. I feel like we saw a lot more of that. That springboard blockbuster he did towards the beginning of the match was really cool. Drake was still selling the arm injury from last week. That bit where Kushida hits the O'Connor roll on Atlas. Drake charges towards him and breaks the pin, so he grabs Drake, bridge and German suplex. He's got a pitting combination on both his opponents. They both kick out. Man, that was awesome.
It was really cool stuff. It was really, really cool stuff.
It was an interesting, controversial finish, however. So Kushida has Atlas in that deal where on the top he leaps off, does a flip in air, and on impact, bang, cross arm breaker. So he's got that locked in on Atlas. Drake comes over and puts an arm over Atlas to cover him. Ref counts the pinfall. Upon replay, though, we see that between the 2 and 3 counts, Atlas is tapping. Ref doesn't see it, however.
Yeah.
So he was like, what they gonna do a triple threat for the title? Ends up not being the case because Kushida squashed any controversy later on in the show. Exactly. I'm kind of guessing that maybe this finish was simply meant to protect Kushida, to make him not protect him necessarily, but to make him look strong on the way out of this tournament. Because like you said, he comes up later on and is just like, hey, you're the man. And as Drake's music says, and he says, go win. Wait, what? What was that? That's how his music starts.
Oh yeah. Who's the man? He's the man.
I'm the man.
I love that song. It's great. Yeah. Drake Maverick goes on, and then at the end of that match, Phantasma comes down. Yeah. And he shows his respect to Drake Maverick, but then he says, "Pero that title right there is mine." And Drake's like, and as he's walking away, he's like, "That's my life. It's more than just a title to you. It's my life. It's everything. It's my career." So yeah, man. I don't know. I really hope that WWE rehires this guy because he's so damn good. He's so damn good.
All this and don't hire him back. Gosh darn it.
Hey, at least he's getting a huge platform on the way out.
He totally is. Totally is.
Jesus, why would you not keep this guy around? He's really good.
I know.
Could you imagine the match him and Devlin would have?
Oh, it'd be great.
Oh man,
it would be great.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's gonna win this damn title and stick around.
No, I mean, I people are mentioning it here in chat. I kind of felt this might be the case, at least for the Phantasma side of things. This is all a swerve on his part. He's leading those luchadors who are kidnapping people. That's going to come about during the finals. Phantasma's going to win. Drake's going to get screwed out of his title belt. He's going to lose his job. Just you watch.
Then he'll go to AEW. He'll be fine, or somewhere else. I don't know.
Or they'll bring him back, and then that'll be the story. Is I'm coming after you, Phantasm, because you try to take my life away from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I've really enjoyed this Cruiserweight tournament. This Drake Maverick thing. I mean, look, yes, I can understand there's a lot of shades of gray here in terms of the ethical implications of them using a real life firing to tell a story.
Well, exploiting.
Yeah. I totally get that, but what can you do? I can't poo-poo it too much, because if 3 months from now the guy is still with the WWE, then I'll be like, man, I spent the entire time fretting over his job and he was fine.
So you were emotionally manipulated the entire time, but the end result was a happy one, so you'll let it slide.
Yeah, exactly.
If the outcome of this is either he gets rehired or goes somewhere else to a fat payday, all right.
Right.
But if a situation where he goes through this,
ends up destitute.
Well, like, you know, the only other company running shows, well, I guess Impact is too, but say neither Impact or AEW is in a position to hire him right away, or just not interested for whatever reason.
Yeah, sure.
And then he goes through all this, gets himself over huge,
yeah, and
then has no way to take advantage of it.
Dude, hey, brother, he's already got a Twitch channel. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Everybody else has Twitch channels too, man. It's a congested field these days.
I think that, look, I'll put it this way. I think the dude will be fine. He's immensely talented. He'll land on his feet somehow, somewhere. I think he'll be okay. He's got. I have more faith in him.
I think he will be too. I think he will be too.
I have more faith in his prospects post if he ends up being in a post WWE landscape than a lot of other people out there.
And that's highly likely, just based on what he's managed to do over the last few weeks. If he does all this and hits a home run week in and week out with everything he's been given, and the WWE just like, all right, just see yourself out.
Yeah.
And then nothing is immediate for him to latch onto. He's going to lose some momentum, and so unfortunately, it's going to be a bummer.
He's sitting around eating a can of beans in a train cart somewhere. Yeah. No, I feel you. I want the best for him, and I want to see him do whatever he wants to do. Let's see here. Let's get Fear and Loathing says, I'm going to come up with a Twitch channel for going in Raw review watch parties. Isn't that like, wait a second, that's what this is.
Yeah.
All right.
People watching us.
Yeah. We're not on Amazon Prime.
Just going to host. It's all confusing. Anyways, next, Johnny Gargano comes out for a match. He announces that tonight will be the first Gargano Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the first time ever a young superstar will get the honor of stepping in the ring with him, and he looks out to the crowd of all the other NXT talents. One day it could be you. It could be you. It could be you. But tonight, the opportunity goes to Adrian. And he like commiserates with Candice about how to pronounce the last name.
He thought it was Adonis. He was like, "Is this a typo? Is this Adrian Adonis?"
Yeah,
that was funny.
Adrian Alanis.
Yeah.
So this match was 30 seconds. Gargano wins with a Gargano escape.
Really
Alanis
quick.
taps. It was not competitive at all. Afterwards, Keith Lee and Mia Yim show up on the Titantron. They're about to share a meal. They go through an extended thing of making fun of the whole Johnny and Candice thing. They got a flashlight they do in the year 2000, that gimmick from the Conan O'Brien show.
2000.
It didn't overstay its welcome.
I loved this. I thought this was hilarious.
I thought it was fun. I think it came off pretty well. It was funny. And then Keith Lee asked Mia, hey, so what are we having for dinner? And she says, well, I'm going to make dinner the same way Candice does, takeout.
Yeah.
And then Tegan Knox comes in with a pizza box from Gargano's Pizza, and she's eaten all but 2 slices and says, oh, I need one for the road, takes the second to last piece and walks out.
Captain Marvel loves her pizza.
Guess so.
And Keith Lee's like, what the hell? I can't do this with one piece of pizza. What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought this was really good stuff. If nothing else, it justified the cheesy black and white stuff that they do in the Gargano home stuff, because they're able to spoof it here. I thought to really good effect. Mia Yim especially was pretty damn. But so is Keith Lee's. God damn it, he's so good.
He's so good.
You know what I noticed in his delivery a little bit, in when he like was addressing the camera, not in the black and white stuff, but he was saying Johnny Gargano. I noted a hint of like Randy Orton in his delivery. And I was like, man, if he is taking some influence from that, what a great idea. Because he's like, it's like Keith Lee can, like, he's a good guy, but he's got that menacing thing when he's doing a promo on you. Mm-hmm. And there's a little hint of Orton in there. It works really well.
It's part. I see what you're saying, and part of it too. I think is his cadence.
It is. Yeah.
He speaks slowly like Randy does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. After that, we had a Drake Maverick interview, and what's her name? Sarah? No, Sarah.
No, it was Mackenzie Mitchell.
Mackenzie, thank you. Yeah, I always remember her because Moose really had a thing for her back in Impact. Anyway, she brings up she was the Impact interviewer back in the day.
Yeah, I remember.
So she brings up the tap out, and he's like, he wanted to compete fairly, and he's willing to have another match or whatever. But then Kushida comes in, and he's like, "Hey Drake, don't worry about all that. Just go win, go fight for the title." And Drake says, "Hey man, listen, I have nothing but respect in the world for you. When I win that Cruiserweight Championship, you get the first shot."
And Kushida seemed cool with that, so
yeah, he was.
If that ever comes to fruition. After that, we had an Imperium promo. They talked about taking over the tag division. Say these titles aren't coming off their shoulders anytime soon. Just like Walter's holding on to that NXT UK title, basically forever. They call out Oni and Birch. Oh, sorry, they call Oni and Danny Birch a disgrace to their countries and to the ring. Because why? Because the ring is sacred.
It's sacred. It's sacred. After that, we had Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez. And holy crap, like Shotzi had, she was doing the whole, smaller person trying to chop down the bigger person thing. But then Dakota Kai at one point steals Shotzi's tank, starts like ripping off the tank because Raquel has her like in a submission or something.
Yeah,
and she's like, look at this, and she's like ripping off stuff off the tank.
Yeah.
Tegan Nox comes out, gets Dakota Kai out of the tank.
Man, she tossed Dakota Kai out of that tank.
Yeah, she did. She totally did. Shotzi tried to go for a roll up on Raquel, gets a 2. Raquel drops her with a boot, go to commercial, back from commercial. Gonzalez is still in control. She starts talking some crap. Shotzi makes a comeback. I'm getting to the part where, so Raquel rolls out of the ring because Shotzi hit a senton. So her and Dakota Kai are standing there, and Shotzi goes up and does a coffin drop. And oh my God, like Raquel Gonzalez caught part of it, but not much. She basically clipped her, and Shotzi
like on the top of her shoulders, yeah,
because her what do you call her rotation was like I think a bit more extreme than they were expecting, and she almost landed on her damn head.
Yeah.
Really
across her shoulders.
That looked rough. And then like almost immediately after that, they get her back in the ring. Raquel Gonzalez gets her with like whatever the choke slam is or whatever the power bomb.
Oh yeah,
is.
the power bomb deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, Shotzi is tough
before that
nails.
though, Candice comes out too and gets in Tegan's face, and the ref gets distracted by that, and that's what allows Raquel to get that power bomb for the win.
That cannot be I love the NXT is so good at doing that. So like Tegan Nox, a friend of Mia Yim's because they're all good guys, she makes a cameo in their little video. So then she gets roped into the Candice Mia Yim stuff because of her association in that video, and Candice and Tegan used to be friends. So, man, I love that kind of stuff. That's so good. After that, we had a video package for Damian Priest. I'm going to live forever on your name.
Yeah, he might live forever, but he's going to lose a takeover.
He's going to lose a takeover. Yeah,
Yeah. Next, Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai against Charlotte and mystery partner, and that ended up being Robert Stone Brand's, at least for the time being, Chelsea Green.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really do anything with that bit where Charlotte's chopping Io in the corner, Io ducks, and then Charlotte accidentally chops Chelsea. That really led to anything in the course.
No, it did not. Because winning solves everything. I imagine if they would have lost, that would have been a thing. But as long as you win, that's kind of all that matters.
I suppose. Anyways, Charlotte got the win on Io here. So Io hits 619. Chelsea is in the ring. She runs in the ring. She pushes Charlotte out of the way when Io's doing a springboard drop kick. And so Io charges Charlotte, who's in Rhea's face. Charlotte moves, and then Io knocks Rhea off the apron accidentally. She's like, oh, dang. Charlotte comes up behind, rolls her up, gets her feet in the ropes to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a .com or Twitter video, Chelsea Green told Robert Stone, you're fired.
Yeah. Wow. They're fast-tracking that one.
Yeah.
I think so. You and I, you had the idea that perhaps she would she'd get signed up by Robert Stone Brand. She lost that match against Caden Carter, and this would like pretend like she would go on a losing streak while she was with the brand, get dropped by Robert Stone brand. But it seems like they might be going the inverse way, because her gimmick on an Impact, and then she sort of carried it over into the NXT house loop, was the hot mess, where she was like sort of like the Two-Face of NXT, where she was like had like a half and half thing going, where she was like a mess on one side and cleaned up on the other. So I wonder if her dropping Robert Stone might lead to her going on a bit of a losing streak. Although I kind of feel like they should have built this up with more wins.
I know. To
show she could. I mean, this is just speculating that she's actually going to be going through this sort of thing, or they could do a thing where she drops Robert Stone, and Aaliyah starts picking up wins under him. She starts picking up losses, and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. He won't take her back." And then she goes through that transition into the character. I don't know.
Or they might not even go back to that.
They might not go back to that at all. I don't know. But I thought she looked like she fit in so well here. You know, she looked like she fit in with all these top players.
Definitely. We get a Johnny and Candice interview next. They call themselves the one true power couple on NXT. Johnny says, at TakeOver, I'm going to take that North American title off Keith Lee. And Candice says, well, yeah, I can't wait that long to get my hands on Mia Yim. I want her next week in a match.
And then she says, and Tegan, you should be ashamed.
Yeah.
they asked, I like when Mackenzie asked about what'd you think about that really funny skit? And then Candice like, funny, you're supposed to be impartial. And Johnny says, it was lowbrow.
Yeah.
He called it lowbrow.
Lowbrow. This was great. So Adam Cole and William Regal were having a negotiation live over Zoom.
On a Zoom call. This was great.
So Adam Cole is complaining that he didn't get his well-deserved celebration for being champion for a whole year tonight. Said it was put on ice because of the Velveteen Dream. And Regal's like, I've
got no time for whining, Adam Cole.
Yeah. And Adam Cole says, all right, I'll keep it simple. I want Undisputed Era to get a fair shot at those tag titles. Last time they had to take on a team they weren't prepared for. And then Cole wants to make sure that Velveteen Dream never gets in this business again, never gets another title opportunity. And then Regal's like, hold on, Dream deserves another title shot. And that will probably happen at TakeOver. I like how he said probably.
Yeah.
And Cole wonders, like, hey, where's all this charity for the Dream coming from? It's all about the Dream. He has his own spotlight. He has his own couch. It's all about him. And Regal says, hey, Adam Cole, you crave the spotlight just as much as he does. And Adam Cole's all offended by it. He says it's insulting to be compared to the Velveteen Dream. It's insulting because Adam Cole has been the cornerstone of NXT this whole time, and the Undisputed Era have made you look pretty dang good, William Regal.
And then Regal says something about, I have no time for people crying like a baby. And then Adam Cole said, that's a funny joke. That's probably the funniest joke I've heard from you since you were a man's man, or a real man's man, or whatever it was.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was really good. These guys have such great chemistry.
I know. And Cole says, all right, I'll agree this match gets Velveteen Dream, but after I beat him at TakeOver, Dream will never get another title shot so long as Adam Cole is champion. And Regal says, all right, I agree to that, but it will be at a setting worthy of the NXT Championship.
So
Cole says, deal, leave meeting.
Then he leaves, he hits leave meeting. So we can talk about this, what this setting is rumored to be, because Fightful Select, go check them out, go subscribe.
Yes,
we got an email from them this morning, or all their subscribers did, not just us. And apparently they are setting up like a ring behind the Performance Center.
Full Sail.
At Full Sail. Yeah, I'm sorry, at Full Sail. And they're having the talent like carpool there, and they're going to like surround the ring with their, I'm assuming the headlights are going to be on the ring.
Yeah.
And there might be like a spotlight directly over it.
It's going to be the Bob Falfa Invitational.
The Bob Falfa Invitational. Hey, man, have you seen a piss yellow car riding up these streets? That's Milner, man. Bob Falfa. Oh, man, that's
They're going to recreate the mean streets of downtown Modesto, circa 1950, whatever.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's going to be cruising. Have some Wolfman Jack on commentary. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. They're probably going to film it like cinematically or whatever. So, yeah, that'll be cool. I don't know what I was saying. So, like, there's also another Fightful Select article about, and there's no names mentioned, but that they are expecting more NXT call-ups coming up soon.
Yeah. Here's another thing that...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say this. My inclination for this Adam Cole Velveteen Dream thing is, given that Velveteen Dream has barely been involved or on TV, I kind of get the feeling that he's going to be called up soon, and he's not going to be winning at TakeOver. And Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, they are a cornerstone of NXT. They are a proven commodity. I think they're probably going to stick around. That's my.
Another thing to consider is I believe it was WrestlingNews.co was reporting that Adam Cole's contract was up in August.
Yeah, somebody in chat mentioned that. Yeah.
I would be really surprised if he were to leave, given the success he's had in NXT. That being said, his girlfriend's in AEW. Got a lot of friends over there.
Yeah.
While I'd be shocked if he did leave, it's a possibility. Another reason I'd be really surprised that for Undisputed Era to get called up is that Kyle O'Reilly, he hasn't been participating because I believe he's a diabetic and worried, about himself given the pandemic situation. I would be somewhat surprised if they called them up without him being there.
I think that would be less of a thing. I don't know. I don't know what would be sweetening the pot for Adam Cole and saying, hey, listen, you've done such great work here in NXT. We're going to move you up to the main roster, especially with his contract coming up. Hey, sign an extension. I would think, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think there's a lot of variables. I'm not sure. I personally don't know how much the Kyle O'Reilly thing would factor in. And obviously, if they're going to do like an invasion thing, maybe that was going to be the big summertime angle they were thinking
of.
But
it depends too. Like, we know everybody in Undisputed Era are legitimately tight. They're good friends.
Yeah.
And whether they would feel like they would want to go up all together, if they even have a say in the whole thing.
Yeah, people rarely have a say in that kind of thing. I would think that if they wanted to do a big invasion thing, they'd want all four guys for sure.
Yeah, make maximum impact, yes.
That being said, it's WWE. They could do something as stupid as you have the Undisputed Era like invade and Velveteen Dream is with them. You know what I mean? They do weird stuff like that sometimes. Or
they'll just break them up.
Or they'll just break them up, exactly. So you can never tell what WWE is going to do creatively because it's Vince, and who knows if Vince even watches NXT.
Which might be another reson why Adam Cole is like, all right, I've had a good run here in NXT. Oh, you want to put the main? Where's Tony Khan's phone number?
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to leave here. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. There's also, and this can't be overlooked, he loves his Twitch channel, and he has become a known commodity on Up, Up, Down, Down. And as silly as that may sound, I think to some people I think to him, that's one potential reason to stick around.
Don't know.
So I don't know. I don't know if that supersedes anything else. I'm just saying that might be one more reason. And while in NXT, they have treated him like an absolute king.
They have.
So after that, we had
Lorcan and Birch at the pub
drinking some water, some pints of water.
Yeah. So I guess they're going after those tag titles. That's what I gathered from this.
Yeah.
Going to be a W for Imperium at TakeOver if that's where this match happens.
Yes.
Next, Leon Ruff taking on Tommaso Ciampa.
This match was it was 4 minutes long, and it was 3 minutes too long.
Yeah. So Ciampa makes his way down the ring. Scarlett Bordeaux walks down to ringside, and Ciampa is distracted by her. He's just looking at her. Bell rings. Leon Ruff goes for a roll-up because Ciampa's all distracted. Ciampa kicks out. Ruff is using his quickness advantage for a bit, trying to get some offense in. Ciampa just drops him with the knee. A bit later, Ciampa blows a kiss to Scarlett, hits Ruff with the fairy tale end to get the win, and then Karrion Kross shows up with the Tron. And I like how they framed it. It was super tight, like this, black and white.
His mouth wasn't even in it. It was here and up. Yeah, it was great.
It was great. And he delivered a really good promo.
Yeah. Man, it was terrific.
Saying, Ciampa, I got to agree with you. You are special. But I promise you that on June 7th, I'm going to make you feel something that you've never felt in your life.
Horny.
Really good to the point. What'd you say?
Horny. He was staring at Scarlett Bordeaux that whole time. She had gray hair too. I think it's supposed to be silver because kids do that these days.
Yeah,
they make their hair silver, but to me, it just looks like you're old now.
It's gray. It's gray hair. It's gray hair.
It's like time traveling old Scarlett Bordeaux showed up at ringside. I liked her little stare down with him at the end. I thought that was really effective because she had like a smile, but then she turned to like concern. But was it concern for him because Cross is about to F this dude up?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So next week, confirmed Drake versus Phantasma for the interim cruiserweight belt.
Oh,
Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae grudge match, and then a bunch of filler.
Man, that Drake Phantasma match. I'm going to do my damnedest not to spoil that stuff for myself. Oh, boy.
Hopefully there'll be more than just those 2 matches. Because they got the recaps for Dream.
Those
and
recaps
Cole,
are going to be long. They named them.
The women's triple threat.
They named them.
True.
Prime Target. Those are going to be like a half hour each, dude. Really long.
It's going to be a breezy recap next week then.
Yeah, I know.
Then our main event, Timothy Thatcher versus Mathew Rydell. So it's the fight pit. No ropes. No turnbuckle covers.
Right.
There's like an elevated platform that surrounds the cage on top. Like 3 feet wide or so. Got Kurt Angle in there as your ref. So I liked how they did this. Competitors enter the ring. They each start on top on the platform. And they both have to get down. Riddle leaps down. He immediately goes on a run. He hits a Showtime kick, and that's when he knocks out Timothy Thatcher's teeth.
Yeah.
So Thatcher's down there for the 10 count. He gets up at 8, and he starts like blood coming out, picking his teeth up off the mat.
It was so gross. It was great because like he's already got like some weird, funky like.
He's got a tooth or 2 missing already. Yeah, that's obvious. You could tell.
Yeah, he's got battle mouth. His mouth is basically a roadmap of his battles, and it's just a mess. I think that's why he talks a little on the weird side. But man, it had so much legitimacy to the dude. He gets up, and then the great thing is they don't shy away from the blood, and that was part of why you knew. I mean, beyond the fact that this kick was not going to send his teeth out. No. But I love the gore effect. He goes to the cage and they're checking his eyes to make sure for concussion stuff. And then his mouth is open. It's just frothing with blood. Yeah. It was very effective. I thought this was rad.
Good. And the trainer was like, took the flashlight, looked at his mouth for like 15 seconds. Yeah, he's good. You still want to fight? He says, yeah, I want to fight. All right, they can still wrestle.
You're good. Yeah.
They didn't get him out of the cage. It wasn't a thorough medical examination, but he stretched the imagination.
I love that Thatcher was doing his best impression of like an animal as well. He's like, as he was being checked. Like I'm trying to feed Gypsy a pill or something.
So eventually they make their way up to the platform surrounding the top of the ring. They're brawling up there. Some submission stuff. And then Matt Riddle hits. So Thatcher's going for a butterfly suplex to suplex Riddle off the platform back down the ring. Riddle escapes that. Hits Thatcher with a V-trigger, or final flash, whatever Morrow calls it. Thatcher tumbles off that to the mat. Riddle follows that with his floating bro. A little bit more back and forth. He rams Riddle into the cage. He locks in the rear naked choke. And then Riddle's like trying to bounce Thatcher off all the walls of the cage, trying to knock him off. Eventually, this falls backwards. That's the only way you can get Thatcher to release the hold. For a moment, Thatcher puts it back on. Riddle passes out. But it was fun, brutal, felt real.
Yeah.
It was a sufficient amount of clumsiness to make it feel like a legitimate fight with just enough pro wrestling in there. So the language that was familiar to pro wrestling fans. It wasn't just all map-based stuff. At one point, Thatcher locks Riddle into a triangle and Riddle powers him up to try to powerbomb him. There was stuff that pro wrestling fans could be still familiar with, the usual tropes of certain spots. But they really invested a lot of time in creating a match that felt very much founded on MMA and catch wrestling. It was a lot of fun.
Now, Dang MQ here in chat is saying there are reports from PW Insider that Riddle is shooting promos for his SmackDown debut. Larson, what are the odds that come Friday night when we're doing our SmackDown recap that we're going to be sitting here face-palming to shit over what his initial SmackDown debut promos are going to be?
It's like a 90% guarantee, man.
A 90% guarantee? Wow. I was going to go as high as 50-50.
I'm preparing myself to feel embarrassed to be watching it, and not for anything Matt Riddle's doing.
Yeah,
it's just the situation where, like, he comes to work that day, and Bruce Pritchard's up, talks to him, introduces himself. So here, this is what this is what we got you doing. And he looks at it and just goes, "Bro, all right."
Yeah,
and then he does it, and they're like, "No way do they have any idea what the Matt Riddle character is." I'm just totally preparing myself for that to be the case.
I know. Me too. Zavala Club says, "Watch him be the hacker." He's like sitting there, bro. He's got like a keyboard in front of him. He's like hunting and pecking. Bro, what's a hack? What do I do? How do I get this to print? Bruce, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll get on the Patreon here.
All right. Fear and Loath, empowering people you want to see negotiate live with William Regal. Matt Riddle's high on that list.
Oh my God, yeah. That'd be great. That'd be really good. He was really good on, was it Backstage? I think he was on Backstage. I saw some clips from it where he was talking about the difference between a bro and a stallion, and can a bro be a stallion? Can a stallion be a bro, and whatnot? Apparently, he also said that Shane McMahon was down the hall from the Goldberg confrontation at SummerSlam, and that Shane came up to him afterwards and said, "Thank you for not punching Goldberg." And he's like, "That's not a stallion move."
Well, he said, "Why would I punch him backstage when I can beat him in a fight in front of millions?" So that's a stallion.
That's a stallion move, but punching him out backstage is not a stallion move.
Nope. See, Matt Riddle just wants to do business. His mind's on business,
right? I thought that's what pro wrestling was about, making money.
Maybe he takes it upon himself to try to build some angles. His mind seemingly is always about business.
I thought that was what the grabbing the brass ring was.
According to Kurt Hawkins, he was on Talk as Jericho, I guess years ago. The Raw after Mania, he said that they would always do like a rah-rah speech about going out and grabbing that opportunity, and then at a certain point they just stopped doing it because they realized it was all BS. Because you go out there and get your. He referenced Zack Ryder, of course, the Long Island IZ stuff, where Zack Ryder got himself over. He essentially forced WWE's hand to put that U.S. title on him, and then they did absolutely nothing with it.
That's interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Ryan here in chat says Pritchard was working MLW with Riddle. He said he's been very high on him. Will that play into how he's booked? If that is true, I think yes.
I hope so. I hope it pans out because Matt Riddle's great.
I love him. God, I love him.
Where was I? Anyway, so yeah, Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers, what was I saying? They stopped doing that speech at a certain point because everybody realized it was BS. So I guess they just stopped with the formality of BS and the talent, and just hey, if we want to push you, we want you to be in a top spot, you'll get there. Otherwise, try as you may, no chance it'll probably happen.
Yeah, I still say with Kurt Hawkins, I don't know what the deal there was. I don't get it. He had seemingly all the ingredients. And I refuse to believe that that first crap gimmick that they gave him, the face the facts
Chuck
guy
Norris things, essentially, yeah.
They could have pivoted from that. I mean, they had his losing streak, which they were trying to make a story with. They gave him the tag titles, and then nothing, nothing. That was that was weird. That was weird.
I mean, but as bad as the face the facts gimmick was, how are we supposed to take that seriously, anyways, when he debuts on the pre-show of No Mercy?
Yeah, I know. They didn't even give it an opportunity.
Nope. White Brownie 92. If and when everything goes back to normal, should WWE take NXT out to a big arena for their first live audience show?
That's one reason why I think NXT, especially this week with the crowd there, it felt like I don't know, in terms of the crowd aspect of things, it felt like a Full Sail crowd anyways, because by and large they observe they will make their voices known, they'll make their voices heard, but it's not like it's the white noise of a large crowd. You can hear individual voices at Full Sail, just like you could last night. Totally. I personally, for me, yes, I think that NXT would be great if they went on tour. I would love to see that.
I would be okay with that so long as it was, 3 weeks out of the month they're at Full Sail, one show a month, they'll go somewhere else if they can make that all work financially. But usually about once a month they do, like 2, 3, or 4 dates somewhere else in the country. So if you just tie a TV taping around those set of dates, maybe it would work out.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them go on a tour. I think it'd be great. And I mean, 5,000 seat venues. I think it'd be
yeah.
Because I honestly think that there is a difference between the standard NXT, or I'm sorry, your NXT fan, and I mean maybe the demographics don't prove out for this, but I do think there's a difference between the perception of NXT with WWE fans and the perception of main roster. I think that the perception of main roster isn't great. I think that the perception of NXT, especially when they put on episodes like this, I think that you can have week to week a hot 5,000 people in a venue that's fit for 5,000 people, and it will make the show look like $1 million.
Mr. Dubs, the only way you can ruin Riddle is if your writers get fired for writing soap operas. Fear and Loathing, Riddle's first night on SmackDown. Here, put on this Archer costume. You're on in 15 seconds.
Ah, yes! Put on this Archer cut, bro. I like arrows.
You're an archer. What? You know how to shoot arrows. Bro.
Ooh. Oh,
White Brain 82 says, Steve, check out Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. You'll love it.
I tried watching.
Love it.
I watched. You'll love it. I watched Flashpoint, and it was okay. The animation was a bit on the simplistic side, but let's see here. Thomas Dunnigan, create a stable using only Triple H guys and gals, using NXT, Raw, and SmackDown rosters, 4 men, 3 women.
So Adam Cole, Finn.
Kevin Owens. That's a killer stable right there.
Seth Rollins.
Oh, and Seth. Yeah, there's your 4 guys.
And then
Asuka.
Rhea Ripley.
And Shayna, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hugh Longheavy, the best case scenario for Riddle on Maine is they make him wear shoes.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Scott Hill Jr. I see Dexter Lumis as a great character with a lot of potential within the confines of NXT, but he seems like he would not flourish on the main roster. Do you share this opinion? I kind of feel like it's too early to tell with him.
I just have a hard time believing they're going to do anything. I mean, his character, while unspoken, is serial killer. That's what it is. That's not going to fly in the main roster.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing. His character can't actually be revealed to be a serial killer.
No, it never will be. But that's the implication.
They're sure, but they're going to have to do something more with him and his character to give us an idea of like what he really is.
Yeah. Because what's the alternative? Say he does the stuff he does. He lingers in the shadows, stares at people, doesn't blink. Is generally creepy. He's got creepy music. What's the alternative to serial killer?
Well, there's a limit to what that. There's a limit to that. I don't know. I do not know. I mean, it might be the kind of thing where they've dug him into. They've dug creatively a hole that is going to be kind of tough to add dimension to. You know, like people want characters with dimension, like ideally, and just having a serial killer around. I don't know that. I mean, if he gets to main roster, he's potentially they're looking there. It might be a comedy act situation.
Yeah, I know.
Where he's 24/7 champion, but nobody wants to approach him.
I know. That's exactly what it'd be. Let the Fiend in. Don't know if I'm reading too far into this, but it was funny that both Johnny and Ciampa had squash matches. Parallel symmetry.
Yeah, they're doing squash matches on a weekly basis these days, though.
Gareth Nicholas, I'd love to see more of the style of cage match WWE tag team bout in there would be cool too. Yeah, it would. Like Team MMA, you ever seen that?
Team MMA is my favorite thing. It's amazing. Oh, it's so great.
Dangum Q's, what happens to Peter Dune when he comes back?
Hopefully he'll be elevated up the roster.
Yeah. Oh wow, let the Fiend in. That's a good point. Chill Roman, Matt Riddle is a dope tag team.
I'd love
That'd
that.
Be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Pete Dunne put him in the fight pit with Thatcher to redeem his friend Matt Riddle.
There you go. That'll be good. Kind of feel like all of Tim Thatcher's matches should be in the fight pit from now on.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. Or
Thatcher's
just like a pit in general. Put them
like
in like
a little hole in the ground.
An actual hole in the ground.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Even better than the fight pit. A literal pit.
Let's see here. Old man Marcus says, ever since Dream came back, I've been feeling kind of meh on him. I agree. He says, my question is, what can they do to save the Cole Dream feud with 1 week of TV time remaining? They can try to hype it with this video package, but nothing's happened. Nothing has happened in this feud. Nothing has happened.
Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. I mean, the NXT's production department's really good. That being said, you're really going to make some lemonade out of lemons in this scenario.
Maybe they can machinimate some 2K19 stuff.
There you go.
Maybe they can do that.
Fabricate things that never happened.
Exactly.
But go back to, what was the last one with the custom cutscenes in it? The custom story mode?
14.
They use that.
Yeah.
And, do the cutscenes with the chat bubbles and everything. All that.
The chat bubbles.
All that.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, that's it for questions over here. Do you have any more?
No, we're done.
All right. We'll be back a little bit later on today with Pin, Lose, or Draw. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later. Twitch chat, stay tuned. We're going to do a raid.
Sure.